Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Zombie Annihilation Forces Optimus here, and I wanted to bring you a little bit of a different type of gameplay here. This is a little bit of a tips and tricks for Hardpoint. It's all about position rotation and anchoring for team spawn. You will see I do get slaughtered a few times. I'm doing this on a terrible, terrible map. But this is a very important thing. If you're struggling with Hardpoint or want to be better in Hardpoint, or maybe you just want to play Hardpoint a little more competitive, instead of being the slaughter guy always up front on the Hardpoint, make the first move, and as you make the first move, okay, you anchor the Hardpoint, you pull it for your team, then back off. And you're going to see me do that a lot. You're going to see me back off the Hardpoint, and I set up an anchor position. In the anchor position, you're going to see I set up just enough that my team will spawn on me and be close to the Hardpoint. And that's a very, very key thing if you get taken out in a Hardpoint. If your team has a Hardpoint and most of them get taken out, you don't want them spawning at the other end of the map. You don't want them spawning far away. You want them to be able to spawn as close to the Hardpoint as possible to make a good play on it. And that's extremely important, and it's, you know, a lot of people in MLG pull the same tactic. But another thing in Hardpoint that's really important is knowing your hardpoints, knowing where your hardpoint is going to be next, and watching the hardpoint timer. As you see, as the hardpoint timer starts to get to a certain point, I am already trying to make a rotation to the next hardpoint. I'm trying to push around the enemy team or through the enemy team or backdoor the enemy team to push the hardpoint first. So that way I'm there, we get the first capture, my team will be able to move in. And with that technique, that's going to give you a lot of caps, and that's going to help you get a lot of point score up on the board, and it's going to help your score per minute in Hardpoint too. And it's just one of them things. It's a really good trick, and it's really going to help you in Hardpoint. As far as class setup goes, I run the AN94 in Hardpoint because I back off the Hardpoint and anchor, but it's not recommended. It's your choice. I mean, it's all what gun you're comfortable with, what gun you think you want to anchor with, what gun you do the best with. Any gun is good, perk-wise. You might want to run extreme conditioning. I'm moving real slow. Extreme conditioning and lightweight would be a great choice for this, so you can move to your next hardpoint faster. And that's really key, being able to hit that next hardpoint before the enemy and anchor it down for your team. By doing that, it's just giving you a step ahead of the game. You're already one step ahead of the enemy team's movement. Now when you are doing this, you are going to find maybe one or two other players in the enemy team also pulling the same objective. So make sure your reaction time and your aim is on, and you're aware of your surroundings. You're aware of what's going on, because if the enemy team makes that move on you, it could be bad. You can lose the hard point for your team, or you can miss the rotation. As you'll see coming up here, we hit 16 seconds. Okay, I push up here into this little cabana area. I'm going to anchor down. And you're going to see I've checked my back. I'm just watching that first hard point. I see as you guys can see, my team is spawning around me. I'm pushed up, my team's spawning around me, I create a defensive line. Okay, so here I go. I back around the back side of the hard point. We now know where the enemy's spawning. My team is spawning behind me or on me in the hard point. The enemy is going to be spawning at the farthest spawn, which gives my team enough time to set up a good defense line and hold that hard point. Now you see, I push off the hard point to make an aggressive move here to try and back the enemy off. They're pushing through our defense, and you can see they do push through the defense, they get the hard point. But now I'm going to back off a little bit here, and I back off to a safer anchor point. And now I'm pushing backwards. We make the swap here. We're at 14 seconds. I started pushing back at 27. And you'll see I'm already pushed into the next hard point. I'm set up in a position that I'm defensive. So if the enemy pushes back through, I can see my team is spawning behind me. We got a far enough lead that I knew this position was perfect for this next hard point. So I pulled the hard point, and you're going to see I back out of it immediately. I'm going to back here, and I'm going to set up in this position. I'm now anchored. My team's going to spawn on me, around me. They're not going to push the other side of the map if the enemy pushes us right away. They're going to spawn around. It's going to give us more of a chance to keep the hard point. You'll see 3 guys just spawned in right on me. So now I'm going to back off. My guys are pushing up to the hard point. I'm going to back off a little bit. I know the enemy is making a push to try and push us around the backside of the hard point. I know they're trying to catch up. So I back off to my anchor position. You'll see my team pushes into the hard point. They're contesting it. Everybody who's dying is just spawning back on me or extremely close to me in the hard point positioning. And you'll see I wasn't aware of my surroundings. I pushed up too far. The enemy started spawning behind me. I don't know what that guy was doing, but I knifed him in the face. But you'll see here. Okay, I'm a little late, but I do push the next positioning. I'm in the hard point. Now I'm going to try and take a defensive position because a lot of my team is up top the boat for some reason. And you're going to find this a lot. You might find yourself in a hard point almost completely by yourself the whole time. So you got to be prepared for that as well. You got to be prepared for gunfights, and you got to be prepared for the enemy team to push you the whole time. But making these rotations, making these plays is really going to help your hard point score per minute. Sorry there. And it's really going to help your aggressive play style, and it's going to help you get much better in hard point. Just remember, the key is knowing your hard points on every map, because if you don't know the hard points, you're not going to be able to push it. You're not going to know where to make the next rotation. Now here I go. I'm going to push inside this building. We're at about 10 seconds. I push in here. The enemy team is spawning behind us because they have an anchor. You can see my sniper goes out and takes him out. They had an anchor out there, so they were spawning in back spawn. Now we're set up. They're still spawning in back spawn, but we're set up. I didn't even see this guy. You guys can get a good laugh at this. We're set up for the hard point. Not sure why we're contested. It's because that guy is laying directly underneath me. That was a dumb move. Once again, not checking my surroundings. I wasn't really fully focused. I was just trying to get a good hard point gameplay on a map that's not very easy to do it. But now here I go again. I push up into this cabana defensive position. Now, instead of my team spawning back where they did, they're going to start to spawn in on me. There they all are. They all spawned in mid-map, which allowed us to rush the hard point and catch the enemy team off guard. Now I catch this guy in my UAV. This is what I'm talking about being fully aware of your surroundings. I turn on him to slow turn, but you can see I pulled that off. But once again, if you notice my positioning, look where most of my team is spawning, on me or with me. So now this guy tries to backdoor me, and he does a very successful job. He knew that I was anchoring down. This guy's been doing the same technique. You'll see me and him getting a few gunfights. He's also doing position rotation. So now the enemy team, because I lost my rotation, you can see I spawned in the back of the map. Now the enemy team has taken control of center position. But you'll see I jump in the hard point, I get my points. Now I'm going to back off. I back off because here comes my team, they're pushing up. I'm going to give them some defense. And then I believe I make a rotation pretty early here. But as you guys can see, this is a very good tactic. It's a crucial tactic, and it works very, very well. But it takes some time to get used to. It takes time to play that way. Now here, this is what I call, point torn spawn point. I push on, I kill that guy, I capture it, I back off. The enemy caps again. I don't know how I get this kill, but there I go. I pull my streaks. I drop them on the hard point as soon as I can. That's also important. If a hard point's outside and the enemy team seems like they might have a chance to catch up, pulling your streaks like that, if you can do it, is a really good thing. Now you see I'm set up here, I'm positioned forward, my team's pushed forward still on that hard point, but here it is, we capture the hard point again. Now this time, I just back off again, I'm pulling to an anchor position to give these guys this spawn, so that way it keeps us close to the hard point if the enemy pushes forward. And as you can see, this position works a lot. I think I get 7 caps and 5 defends. I do pull my streaks off that middle hard point. There was the first streak I think I pulled, but now you'll see this guy's trying to keep him out. I don't know, he's a pretty bad shot. But now you see this guy, they really can't push. My team's defense is just pushed up too tight. Now the last game, I'll have you know, these guys destroyed us. And I talked to these guys when we started the lobby and just let them know what I was going to be doing. And you can see there's a lot of shout outs. I did cut the audio out. This guy turns on me. This is funny. I give this guy credit. But I really hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. There it is, 26 and 16, 7 caps and 5 defends. I hope this helps you guys a lot. See ya.